You know, some of the most powerful art, the stuff that really sticks with you, is born from the deepest pain. It's like in that fire of grief, we forge our most incredible statements about the will to live. Today, we're diving into one of the all-time greatest examples of this, Alfred Lord Tennyson's amazing poem, Ulysses. It's really a masterclass in the fortitude of the will. So yeah, let's get into it.
So here at PoAItry, and yep, we pronounce that poetry, we do things a little differently. We use AI as a kind of visual partner. The best way to think about it is like a prism. We take the pure light of a poem and we shine it through this prism, breaking it down into 5 unique lenses: the literal, the abstract, the metaphorical, the cultural, and finally, the mirror, which, reflects it all back on us. It's our way of trying to visualize the things that are almost impossible to put into words.
Okay, so to truly understand that heroic, defiant cry at the heart of Ulysses, we have to start with the poet's secret. We've got to go back in time to a personal tragedy that absolutely shattered Tennyson's world. Because in doing that, he was given the raw material for this masterpiece of courage.
And that tragedy, it all centers on this man right here, Arthur Hallam. Look, this was way more than just a friendship. It was a total meeting of minds and souls. The connection between Alfred Tennyson and Arthur Hallam was just exceptionally deep. They were creative partners, intellectual equals, the real deal. And the bond was so strong that Hallam actually got engaged to Tennyson's sister Emily. He was basically part of the family.
As you can see from this timeline, their lives were completely intertwined. I mean, they even volunteered for the Spanish insurgent army together. That tells you how in sync their ideals were. But then, in 1833, the unthinkable happened. While traveling, Arthur Hallam, this brilliant young guy with his whole life ahead of him, died. Just like that, a sudden cerebral hemorrhage. He was only 22 years old.
The impact on Tennyson was, well, it was catastrophic. And what's wild about this quote is how much it understates the sheer devastation. Tennyson didn't just mourn, he completely collapsed. He basically became a recluse, his health tanked, and he was so paralyzed by grief that he didn't publish any more poetry for 10 long years.
And it was from the absolute depths of that despair, from that long unhappy silence, that Tennyson finally fought back. Ulysses wasn't just a poem, it was an act of defiance. It was his personal manifesto against giving up, a declaration that even when you lose everything, you have to find the will to keep going, to keep living.
So, now that we have that backstory, that poet's secret in mind, let's begin our 5-lens journey through the poem itself. We're going to use our visual prism to see exactly how Tennyson transformed his personal grief into this universal story of a hero's resolve.
All right, lens 1, the literal. The poem kicks off with our hero, Ulysses, back home in Ithaca. But just listen to the words he uses: idle king, still hearth, barren crags. This is not a happy homecoming. This is a picture of total stagnation. He's a living legend who has faced down gods and monsters, and now he's just stuck, trapped in the quiet, boring routine of home life. You can almost feel his spirit just rusting away.
Now, let's shift gears. Let's go to our second lens, the abstract, and see how this gets even deeper. We get this incredible line, "I am a part of all that I have met." This is such a core idea, right? That all of our experiences, the amazing ones and the awful ones, they literally forge our identity. They're not just memories. They become the fabric of who we are. For Tennyson, you have to imagine this meant that his grief for Hallam was now forever a part of him.
Okay, next up is the metaphorical lens. And wow, what an image this is. Knowledge isn't some peak you can conquer. It's a sinking star, something beautiful, far away, and always just beyond our reach. The whole point isn't to catch it, it's to follow it. It's just a brilliant way of showing that life's meaning is in the pursuit, not in the destination.
Now, through our fourth lens, the cultural, we see Ulysses tapping into the legends of his own world. The Happy Isles, that was the Greek version of heaven, basically. The Elysian Fields, a paradise for heroes. By name-dropping the great Achilles, Ulysses is framing this final voyage not as a death wish, but as an attempt to rejoin the gods and legends. He's trying to write his own final epic chapter.
And finally, from that grand mythological stage, Tennyson brings us to the most personal place of all, the mirror. This is where the poem just jumps across centuries and speaks directly to every single one of us. Made weak by time and fate, but strong in will. I mean, has there ever been a more perfect description of being human? It's not about being invincible.
It's about being persistent, even though we're fragile. It admits our weaknesses, but champions our strength. That final line, it's a timeless call to action.
So, our journey has taken us from the quiet, private grief of a poet all the way to the epic final voyage of a mythical hero. And what's amazing is that both of these stories come together on this one powerful theme, the incredible fortitude of the human will when it's staring into the abyss.
So, what are the big takeaways here? Well, first, that art can be an incredible defiant response to tragedy. Second, that every single thing we go through, especially the hard stuff, becomes a piece of who we are. Third, that we have this fundamental need to explore, to learn, and to grow. And maybe the most important one of all, it is never, ever too late to push away from the shore and seek a newer world.
Which leaves us with one last question. Ulysses realized that even with what little life he had left, there was still an untraveled world shining on the horizon. So I'll leave you with this to think about. Looking at your own life, right here, right now, what's your untraveled world? What new knowledge, what new adventure, what new purpose is out there just waiting for you to strive, to seek, and to find?